Hi, my name is Wayne Headland from tlsites.com, and in this screencast I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the WordPress backend administrative interface. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, and this is of course tlsites.com, our website, which is built with WordPress. And I'm going to go ahead and log into my backend and just kind of give you a little bit of a tour of the back end here. So we're logging in here, and here we are. All right, so what we're looking at when you first log into the back end of your website, you'll see it over here in the corner, a little information about your login. You can log out right there if you wanted to. There's also, if you look at this black bar at the top, which you will see for the rest of the time that you're on your website. If we scroll all the way over here, we can add new elements, pages, posts. Here's comments. Here's updates. You see that I have one update that I need to take care of on my website here. And then this mouse right here, this is really important for you to know, is this is where you can go back to your website. Now what I often do is hold the control key down on my Windows PC desktop keyboard, and then I click on that and it'll open into a new window. So I can have my back end open here, and I can look at my front end here. And oftentimes that's helpful for me if I'm working on something here and then I want to refresh the screen here and see what it looks like. That helps. You'll notice that now, since I'm plugged in, this black bar stays at the top as well. That was not there and just a few moments ago before I logged in. So I have quick access even when I'm on my live website to the back end now that I'm logged in. Alright, the first thing you're going to see when you log into your website, WordPress website for the first time, is the dashboard. And you'll notice a bunch of what I'm going to call these widgets, if you will, these different boxes of just various information. And we can minimize these boxes by just clicking on this little caret here. Alright, we can also take these boxes and move them around so that we can put them in the order that we'd like to see them. If we want to see them in a particular order, we have the ability to do that. Additionally, you'll see right up here in the top corner, screen options, and I can also just say, you know what, I'm not interested in some of these various elements here when I log in, and so you can just get rid of them all, get rid of some of them. It'll help you just be able to allow this dashboard to have the information that is most interesting or relevant to you. The next thing that you should see is under the dashboard section here on your left-hand menu. Sometimes there'll be more than just two items under dashboard. In this case, it just has home and then updates. And so you want to kind of go to updates on a pretty regular basis. If you see any number up there or any orange circles like this, you want to go in there and see what updates there might be. Sometimes it's a WordPress update, sometimes it's a plugin, sometimes it's your theme. No matter what, you want to try to keep those up to date, and I talk about updating plugins in a different tutorial. You will notice here that it says there are no updates, and that's because this particular plugin is a purchase plugin that I have to finish enabling, and so it's a little bit more complicated. Alright, you'll notice here on the left hand side there's a whole bunch of different buttons or links or whatever you want to call them. And these are going to give you access to different aspects, different features on your website. Pretty much every WordPress website has a dashboard and has posts. Posts is a pretty common. WordPress was originally built to be a blog, and so these would be posts. Like if you have a blog, you'd be able to add posts or view all the posts on your blog. I'm just going to go ahead and click on all posts very quickly, and you can see the different posts that I've created for my TL Sites support blog. Every WordPress also has media, and this is going to be your library of mostly images, but sometimes if you've uploaded PDFs or various other things, they will show up here as well. Also, Pages is bundled into every WordPress website, and of course these are the pages of your website that coordinate with these pages here. Alright, moving on. We have comments, and again, comments are where you're going to manage comments that people might make in your blog. Here's my blog right here, and if somebody chose to comment on this particular post, I would be able to see and possibly approve that comment before it showed up on my blog right here. Appearance is also bundled into your WordPress. You'll see that on no matter what WordPress theme you have. And within appearance is going to be a various items here that you might want to be aware of. For the most part, what you really want to know is these are where you get your themes. You're going to have a theme installed. I'm using the Velocity theme as of right now. And sometimes you might have other themes that you can uninstall so you don't have to update them. You'll also want to keep in mind menus. On occasion, if you create a page, you may need to come in here and update the menu so that that page is added to the menu. And again, this menu structure, it looks familiar because it says Home, About, Services. And then you'll see several sub-menu items, and that all coordinates with Home, About, Services with some sub-menu items. So again, if I created a page right here, I would eventually want to take that page, like this test page, and add it to my menu, and it would show up here at the bottom, and then I would drag it to where I want it to go. All right, so that's going to be the menu. There's also other things in here that you can experiment with, all under appearance. Plugins is where you're going to get plugins for your website. Plugins are going to increase functionality on your website. For instance, I have something called a Revolution slider, which allows me to have some kind of cool sliders here when I go to various pages. And that's a plugin. Gravity Forms is a plugin. All of these are plugins that increase my functionality and allow me to do things that I could not do with the standard WordPress install. Users, again, is an important place because you can add users to your website. If you have more than one person who's going to update your website, you want to come in here and click Add New and add them as a user. When you do, you could add them as an administrator, which gives them access to everything, or add them as just an editor. You could also potentially use your WordPress website as a members website. Let's say you are a church or an organization and you want members to be able to access particular parts of the website that others cannot access. You'd be able to add those users here as well, and they would be considered subscribers. All right, so we've gone through most of these here. We've also got tools. And for the most part, you won't really touch tools very often unless you're the programmer. There's also some settings in here that, for the most part, you won't have to do very much with. Every once in a blue moon, you might find your website will all of a sudden not be working right, and you may have to go into settings and permalinks and just reset the permalinks by just clicking Save Changes, and it kind of resets all the different links for the website. Not very often. And that actually is all that you need to know when it comes to WordPress. Those are the basics of what you see on your WordPress install. Now, you notice that I skipped some things. For instance, I didn't talk about Jetpack, and I didn't talk about grid elements, and I didn't talk about what else here, short codes and Revolution and Punch and all these things. That is because those particular sections, like forms, that is added functionality that came from installing a plugin. So your WordPress admin panel, as it were, may not have a forms section here. It may not have a grid elements section. That's going to depend on what you have installed. And so, of course, if you install various plugins in the plugin section, you may find different options popping up here on the sidebar. Sometimes you will install a plugin and you won't see them pop up here because they might be bundled into another option like settings. As an example, TinyMCE Advanced is a little plugin that I install on all my WordPress installs to allow me to have a little bit more control over the section here, this little bundle of buttons and various items that allows me to edit my website. And I like to be able to determine which of those buttons I want to be seen and which ones I want to be hidden, and what buttons and where I want them to go. So I tend to use this little plugin called TinyMCE Advanced. It's again right here in plugins, and it pops its little menu, admin menu, under settings. Others will just put them right here in the sidebar. Okay, so that's really very quickly just a basic idea of your WordPress back end. And again, I kind of flew through it. You can pause and rewind this as often as you want. Of course, this is just going to get me started. This is my area where all of the information for whatever I've selected over here is going to pop up. Again, I just went to pages, and now if I want to, I can mouse over one of the pages and edit it or quick edit it, do whatever I need to do to move forward and work on my website more. Okay, so I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Thanks so much for watching.